to hone those weapons of truth and justice, we can prevail. Our main challenge now is, in my opinion, twofold. Number one, we have to be principled. And principled means that no one has the right to tell Palestinians they have to forfeit any of their rights under international law in the interest of achieving a settlement. Those are their rights under international law. They have a right under the law to a full Israeli withdrawal from the whole of the West Bank, the whole of Gaza, and the whole of East Jerusalem, which under international law are occupied Palestinian territories. And they have a right under international law, the Palestinian refugees and their succeeding generations with genuine links to the land, they have a right of return and compensation. That is not me speaking. That's Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International speaking. They put out the position papers on the right of return in 2000 and 2001, from which I was just quoting. We have to be principled to uphold their rights. But on the other hand, we have to be reasonable. We have to show the other side, Israel and its supporters, that there is a way to end this conflict. It doesn't have to go on interminably. There is a way to preserve everyone's, and I underline everyone's dignity, everybody's right to happiness, a crack at a decent life. There is a way. There's no necessity that this conflict has to go on through eternity. All you have to do is be fair, be reasonable. Does it sound fair? Does it sound reasonable when the eminently reasonable former Supreme Justice of Israel says all the Palestinians are entitled to, the only thing they're entitled to is the right to breathe. That's their only entitlement. The people of Gaza have only one right. If they are not starving, if they are not starving to death, all of our rights to the Palestinians have been met. Does that sound reasonable? That Israelis can go traveling, Israelis can use their computers, Israelis can enjoy the good life at their beaches and their nightclubs and their cafes, and the only right the Palestinians have is the right to breathe. Does that sound reasonable? Does it sound fair? If you're reasonable and you're fair, the conflict can find a reasonable and fair resolution. The late Professor Edward Said, at the end of his life, he liked to quote the Caribbean poet Aimé Césaire. There's room for everyone at the rendezvous of victory. There's room for everyone at the rendezvous of victory. And I like that. A victory without vanquished. There's room for everyone. It's a victor without vanquished. everyone can benefit. Just be fair. Be reasonable. And there's room for everyone at that rendezvous of victory. Now, as I said, I'm determined to get there. I don't know if I'm going to be running to that rendezvous. I don't know if I'm going to be jogging. I don't know if I'm going to be walking. I don't know if I'm going to be using a cane, whether I'll be on a wheelchair or whether I'll be on a stretcher with life supports. But I'm determined to get to that rendezvous of victory. But there's one caveat, one qualification, one hitch. I can't get there unless you're there with me. We can either all go there together or it's not going to happen. One of my childhood heroes, Pete Seeger. How many of you know Pete Seeger in this audience? Enough, but not enough. I mean, some, but not enough. Well, Pete was celebrating his 90th birthday, and he was interviewed, I think it was on Democracy Now!, and Pete was talking about that song from Wizard of Oz, Over the Rainbow. Now, how many of you know Over the Rainbow? The hands better go up. Okay. And Pete said, Dorothy, you know, at the end, and she says, why, oh, why can't I? Why, oh, why can't I get over the rainbow? And Pete said, because, Dorothy, it's not just about you. What Dorothy should be saying is, why can't you and I? Either all of us together, or we're not going to get over that rainbow. So, I intend to be at that rendezvous of victory, and I sincerely hope, and I mean this sincerely, I hope to see everyone in this room there with me. Thank you.